Today, we're talking about Sri Lanka. But let's forget the travel brochures for just a minute. We're going to look at it a bit differently, as an island of stories. Think of it like this. It's got all these deep, overlapping layers, and each one tells a totally different tale about its nature, its history, and yeah, its people. Now, to kick this off, we're starting with someone you probably wouldn't expect at all, Charlie Chaplin. Yeah, I know, seems random, right? But this quote from that incredible speech in The Great Dictator, it just sets the perfect tone. It's going to be our lens for looking at Sri Lanka's story. It's all about humanity, struggle, and that incredible, enduring hope. So, that really brings us to our big question here. I mean, we've all seen the pictures, right? Those jaw-dropping beaches, the ancient temples. It looks like paradise. But what's really going on underneath all that? What are the stories that are just waiting to be told? All right, let's dive in and peel back that first layer. Okay, so our first stop, we're heading straight into the wild heart of Sri Lanka. And this isn't just about pretty scenery. No, this is a kingdom ruled by actual giants. And I mean giants on the land and in the sea.
And the first giant we're going to meet? Well, you literally can't miss it. The Asian elephant. Here, it's so much more than just a symbol. It's a powerful, living, breathing presence that completely shapes the rhythm of daily life. And trust me, it shows up in some really unexpected ways.
And listen, that's not some poetic line from a nature documentary. That's a real person talking about traffic coming to a dead stop. Just that one phrase, he's the king of the road, it just nails the reality there. You know, nature isn't something you go visit in a park. It's a force you share the road with every single day. Okay, so the elephants are impressive, for sure. But if you think that's big, just wait. We're heading just off the coast now, into the deep blue of the Indian Ocean. Because out there lives a creature so massive, it's honestly hard to even wrap your head around it.
Get this, 140 tons. Just let that number sink in for a second. We're talking about the blue whale. And it's not just the biggest animal alive today, no. It's the biggest animal that has ever existed on this planet. We're talking bigger than any dinosaur. It's incredible.
But what's really wild about Sri Lanka's blue whales is that they're totally unique, scientifically speaking. See, most blue whales migrate. These guys, they don't. They just hang out in these waters all year round. And here's a really tragic bit of irony. The country's long 30-year civil war might have actually saved them. It kept the big ships away, creating this accidental sanctuary. But now, in peacetime, this amazing, one-of-a-kind colony is facing a brand new threat. One of the busiest shipping lanes on the entire planet cuts right through their home. All right, so from the giants of the natural world, we're going to shift gears. We're peeling back another layer of this story. And this time, we're looking at the giants of human civilization. We're talking about empires that are thousands of years old. I mean, the scale of Sri Lanka's ancient history is just staggering. First, you've got Anuradhapura, a city so advanced it was a global center for Buddhism for more than 1,000 years. Then you jump to Polonnaruwa, this absolute marvel of engineering where kings built massive reservoirs they literally called inland oceans. And then there's Sigiriya. This just blows my mind. It's a palace and fortress built on top of a giant rock in the middle of nowhere. Just an incredible feat of willpower. And finally, you get to Kandy, the last stronghold of the ancient kings, a city that resisted colonial powers for centuries. Every single one of these isn't just a ruin. It's a whole chapter in this island's incredible story.
But look, this story isn't just about ancient history, you know? It's not just etched in stone. It's being written right now, today. And the modern chapter is this really complex tale of two very, very different cities. And together, they really reflect the nation's past and its possible futures.
So first up, we have Jaffna, way up in the north. This is the cultural heartland for Sri Lankan Tamils. And if you go back, say, 50 years, this place was a powerhouse, a hub of business and learning. People seriously thought it could be the next Singapore. But then the Civil War just tore all of that potential apart. And what's left is a city that's still, even now, trying to find its feet, literally rebuilding from the ashes. And then you've got Colombo, the complete opposite, really. It's the bustling, humming commercial capital, a city that never stops moving. It's the picture of modernization, shiny hotels, a food scene that's getting world famous, and just this energy, you can feel it. It's a major international hub that has its eyes locked on the future.
And when you put them side by side like this, the contrast is just stark. You've got two cities on totally different paths. Colombo is taking its history and sprinting towards the future, becoming this modern metropolis. Meanwhile, Jaffna is in this really delicate spot, trying to figure out who it is again after so much conflict. And that really brings up the critical question, doesn't it? Colombo's future seems pretty clear, but what about Jaffna? Is its big chance to rebuild, to become something new on its own terms? Is that chance slipping away?
And that right there, that gets to the absolute heart of the challenge. I mean, rebuilding Jaffna isn't just about pouring concrete and putting up new buildings. It's this incredible, once-in-a-generation chance to create a new identity, one that honors its amazing past, but also looks forward. But there's this very real fear that in the rush to modernize, to catch up, that unique soul of the city could just vanish.
So where are we going with all this? We've talked about giant whales, ancient kings, divided cities. What's the connection? Well, all these different threads, they all weave together to tell one much bigger story. And that story is about an incredible, almost unbreakable resilience.
So let's recap this journey we've been on. We've seen these different layers, right? The incredible nature with its giants, the ancient grandeur carved into stone. We've looked at the painful history of the war, and we've seen this dynamic divided present. But through all of that, there's one thing that just keeps coming up again and again, this powerful spirit of endurance.
And that really brings us to the final big question. After everything, centuries of empire, the pain of colonization, decades of brutal civil war, after all that, what is it that's going to define Sri Lanka's future? What's the next chapter?
And that's why we're going to end right where we started, with those timeless words from Charlie Chaplin. Because when you get right down to it, Sri Lanka's story, with all its beauty and its pain, it's not just about one island. It's a story we can all relate to. It's a reflection of the universal human journey. It's about overcoming hate, about reclaiming the future from a difficult past, and it's about that fundamental, powerful belief that liberty and the human spirit will always, always endure.